Hello, good morning. It is about 9:30 in Melbourne in the morning. How are you all feeling? How are you going? I can see you joining in. Excuse my towel in the background where I hang my towel. Thank you for joining. Now, how are you? What's happening with you today, this week, this month? How are you feeling? How are you coping? How are your management skills going? And are you practicing meditation daily, regularly? Hello. I love you too, Jocelyn. Thank you so much. I've said to you that I'll do these live feeds fairly regularly, but I'm not going to make them public. They're just going to be unlisted. Daniel, I'm so sorry that you're grieving the loss of a relationship. Thank you, Kevin. I don't know if the relationship is over or someone has passed. Yay! Thank you so much. You know that my parents recently died in 8 days apart. So that's one type of loss that's been an interesting process to work through. The thing about being human is that it is human to form attachments. It's healthy and it's a sign of mental health to be able to form committed, loyal relationships that follow healthy patterns. However, and that's attachment, healthy attachment. However, sometimes we can become too attached. It is important to look down on your attachments, your relationships, and notice your level of attachment. It's important to have a number of engaging positive relationships without depending too much on one. Saying that, as humans, we're social animals, we're tribal animals, and thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much. As tribal animals, we do become attached. We need to take care to notice and be the witness that these attachments are generally healthy, productive, and one of the goals of attachment is to benefit the community through that attachment. Which when we're married, we are or supposed to be, the aim is to be in a safe association so that we can give more to the community. And that's the idea. Through social structure, we keep the community safe and thriving. And that's why we have relationships. But it doesn't always work out that way. That is the aim. So I'm sorry to, I think it was Daniel, for your relationship loss. It's really painful. At my age, I've had a couple of relationships that have not worked out, and I remember the pain. Yes, Kelly, I just saw your question about being worried about harassment. I'm reading them now. They go up for about 2 seconds. I need to be a little bit aware, careful, that I'm not in front of you. You're not in front of me. This is a video. So I need to take care of the advice I give you and keep it fairly generalized because I have a duty of care to ensure I support you as much as I can. So in some situations where there are chronic conditions, giving advice when you're not in front of me is not appropriate. We need to look at, the word was mentioned was harassment. Kelly, yeah, I'm shortening the answer here. Number one, I'd really like to help you. Number two, because I care about you, I want to make sure that the help is productive. Number one, look at self-care. Kelly, look at your self-care and what you are doing to maintain your self-care and to fertilize your self-care. Number 2, what professionals do you have around you to support you through this process? Number 3, I'd write down a list of goals in order to keep yourself safe physically and safe emotionally. You use the word power. I would be careful of using that word. I would break that word down because it is a subjective word. The word powerful. A sunrise can be powerful. A person can be powerful. It's a subjective word that means nothing. So break down, what do you actually mean? What are the words that accurately and factually describe your situation? Keep objective with what you're doing, especially when issues are serious. It's important that we stick to definitions that are objective. So the word toxic is not a great word. Hello, Thomas. I am not one to use the word toxic because it has no meaning. It's a word we use to control others and to control ourselves. Oh, that relationship is toxic. What does that mean? Does it mean that it lacks communication? Does it mean that there's dishonesty? Does it mean that there's physical abuse? Use the words that define the situation. When you say a relationship is toxic, you make it bigger than it is, more dramatic, more subjective, without considering actual solutions. Yes, Ashley. Hello, Robert. Ashley, processing the end of a relationship is like a death. When we are healthy human beings, we produce oxytocin, and it's also called the cuddle hormone. It's a hormone that keeps us faithful, and it's a hormone that gives us a sense that we're in love with someone. So, also called the cuddle hormone, oxytocin. So when you are, Kelly, I'm sorry, I'd like to say more. When you are with someone over time, you produce more and more oxytocin around them if you are finding the relationship rewarding, if you are mentally healthy. So when you break up, even when it's a good idea to end, there is a grieving process. So even when you think this is great, this relationship's ending, it's the right choice, you still go through a grieving process, a sense of loss. Kelly, that's really good. And ensure that your counsellor is directing you in the right way so that you are objective about your resolutions. You keep to factual words. Make sure, it's very important to be factual based rather than say things like, this is hopeless, this is terrible, I'm out of control, I'm devastated. These words do not empower us. They disempower us. They are subjective words. They have no meaning except what meaning we give them. So they're words that do not help our healing. I mean, I say that and I use these words myself. Be careful. Hello, Naomi. Hello, everybody. We've just been talking about the end of a relationship. We've been talking about bonding. We've been talking about oxytocin. We've been talking about even at the end of a positive relationship, there is grieving, post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety. Yes, meditations are what's called supportive therapy. So if you have post-traumatic stress disorder, certain meditations can support your recovery. However, post-traumatic stress disorder is a clinical condition which requires professional counselling. And one of the limitations of YouTube is that sometimes YouTubers present themselves as being able to solve serious issues. We need to stay within the boundaries of our duty of care. Clinical depression, clinical post-traumatic stress disorder require professional counselling. These meditations can support you through that and be part of a toolkit to help you through that. But remember, nothing replaces professional counselling. And then you can have your massages and your meditation and all the rest. Not that I want to compare massage to meditation either. They're both supportive therapy, but meditation needs to be a daily practice every single day. I just missed that. I don't know if you can put that up again, because I think I look up when I think, and then I miss your comments. Oh, yes, I try, Corey, to check in, but I find with my life, I've got stuff that happens with the kids, and then I look at all the comments, and then I don't look at them for a few weeks, and I look at them again. It's just not possible for me to be consistent because I'm a parent to 4. Well, my oldest is 19 and my second is 18 now, so, and then the boys are 15. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Corey, and congratulations as well. And you all help me as well. Oh, that's fantastic, Josie. I think telephone counselling is really good. It's really taking off at the moment. I've been thinking about doing it myself. There's a company that have approached me. I think telephone counselling is fantastic. I think that me giving specific advice in a live stream, I need to be careful and only give generic advice. Oh, thank you. You know, I've got my anxiety course called Beyond Anxiety on Teachable as well that you can log into and download all the videos. I think there's 23 hours of videos on it. Oh, Robert, you say all the right things. I am not young. I feel like I'm 19, but I'm not. But thank you for the compliment. It's funny, isn't it? In Western society, it is a compliment to be perceived as young, but in some societies, it's a compliment to be seen as older, a matriarch. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I wish you all the best with what you're going through. I know the battles, the challenges can be really tough. Life is not easy. Agoraphobia. Yeah. Pierre, have you thought about doing telephone counselling? What resources do you have access to? Kelly, I believe you are tough. Yeah. We need to be tough because life is challenging. It's really hard. Ah, Robert, congratulations for 2 months. We're talking a little bit about loss and relationships. I think you know I lost my brother, and I've just lost my mum and dad, I think 3 weeks ago now, 2 weeks ago. I really appreciate you listening to me. Remember, I've got a podcast on Spotify as well. And the beauty of the podcast is that you can download it and escape almost all the ads. I occasionally put an ad, thanks Kelly, at the beginning of my podcasts because this is how I support the kids. Please subscribe. It's really important to subscribe. Yes, Naomi, I'm sorry. And regular meditation, thanks Ashley, is absolutely vital that we practice meditation every single day to help learn to focus for mental clarity, to be present and to cope with grief, resilience. Thank you, Billy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Corey. Yeah, I get so many questions, thank you, Susan, about post-traumatic stress disorder. For each of you, thank you, Kelly, it's different for each of you. And because it's a clinical condition, I don't want to recommend one therapy over another. The therapeutic approach I have learned is cognitive behavioral therapy. I particularly like Glass's approach that we have choice. However, choice is a complex construct. Hey, Billy. So in the moment, you can choose to be happy, sad, frustrated, angry. You can choose that. However, our environment and our experiences tailor our ability to have choice. So I do believe we have choice, but I think that's a skill we learn. Allowing, allowing for our environment. I know my father, and I've written a lot about my father, and there's a lot written in the media about my father. He was a refugee from Poland, and he had what presented as post-traumatic stress disorder from being around bombs and death and war. And I remember his night terrors, and he would talk also about his night terrors and anything that reminded him of the prison camps. Little things like potato peel, because he used to be fed potato peel soup with the dirt on it, left on it deliberately. So for my whole upbringing, we couldn't have potato peel in the house. I'm so sorry. Yes. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Susan, I'm so sorry. It sounds so glib to say life is hard, or, these phrases, build a bridge, get over it, toughen up. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. But life can be legitimately really, really, really hard. I had a particularly good year last year, and this year's been really tough. And I kind of thought I'd got to a place where I knew how to relax, I knew the strategies, I brought out my Beyond Anxiety course and felt I had the solutions to anxiety. And then my sons were assaulted, and there's a lot of information around that. And my dad was in palliative care. My mum was sad. Then my mum died, and then my dad died, and there's still issues around that, stuff happening around that. So it's funny how you can think, yeah, everything's okay, and then life smacks you in the face like a wet fish. So yeah, it's interesting. That part of Buddhism that says life is suffering, and it's about how we manage it's interesting how we manage the suffering. We do not arrive. Life is a perpetual journey if we're lucky. It's not a matter of arriving. It's in the train station. It's being on the train and managing life as it is, and finding joys in each day, the simple joys, which, I talk about the simple joys, love to you, which are my warm blankets, my hot shower. Naomi, I'm so sorry about that. I'm really sorry. That's what I love about this community too, that the community, thank you, Julie, the community is so supportive and caring, and the comments are almost always lovely, which is not the norm on YouTube. Again, please subscribe and please share my videos wherever you can. It really helps me. So we've got quite a theme, okay, about post-traumatic stress disorder. So maybe I should do something generalized around that, keeping in mind that PTSD requires individual counselling. But videos like this can be what's called supportive therapy, as part of one branch of therapy. Oh, I love the rain. People say, oh, it's a sunny day today, isn't that great? And I just think, I love the rain. I love the wind. I love the sun. It was a very sunny day when my mum died. I remember it was a beautiful day. And she went for a walk, and then her aorta split to her heart. Yes, I think being okay is one, a practice. Two, it involves our physical health. Three, it involves positive engagements with positive people, not necessarily happy people, but positive people. That's great, Josie. Isn't it great to have that support? I'm so sorry. Sending you love as well to you. I'm about to go with my sister to continue cleaning out our parents' house. And then tonight I'm watching my sister's son in a live production, the Rocky Horror Show. So that'll be fun. Well, I think I will go, and I'll talk to you again soon. Remember that pain passes, it's transitory, and you can move through it. That life is not necessarily easy. Love to you. And resilience is an essential strategy through life, to look at ways to move through issues. Watch, I love the rain. Watch the words you use. Words are power, and you choose the words you use. I spoke earlier in this live about words such as power, success, toxic, the word positive, the word good. These words mean nothing. They have no meaning except the meaning we give them. Another word is oversensitive. Someone will say, oh, you're oversensitive. People use words in order to not only control others, but to control yourself. So if you say, my relationship is totally toxic, well, that's not true. You are choosing in part to be part of this relationship. What behaviours are occurring? What values are being maintained or not maintained? What beliefs? What behaviours? What are the goals in the relationship? And what goals are being respected and what goals are not necessarily being respected? Break it down to the objective witnessing of the relationship. Be very, very careful of the words you use. Have a nice night to you too, Ashley. It's actually the morning here. It's about 10 a.m. Michigan. My sister used to live in Michigan. Yes, it's morning here. We're like reverse, aren't we? Oh, I love it when you talk to each other like that, Donna. That's lovely that you've got support, Naomi and Donna. Yeah, so America and Australia like completely opposite, which is, it's interesting. Remember to practice. Remember to watch your words. Remember to practice resilience. Hey, thanks, Kelly. Remember to take each moment. Remember to really concentrate about moving away and not listening to judgment and opinion. There are a lot of people that are judgmental. We need to be careful of that. Steer away from it. Look away from it. Congratulations, Jess, on meditating. Stay safe wherever you are, Sean, too. Okay, grieving is exhausting, Daniel, and it's also, if done in a positive way, it's also healing and difficult. One breath, one step. Donna so well said. Well, I'll go and I will communicate with you again. Love you very much. Please subscribe. Please share my content. Please download my podcast because that helps me and the kids and means I can do what I do. Bye, Julie. Hey, Kelly, I'm going to go now. Take care of yourself. Remember, the purpose of life is to give to others. That's it. That's it. I love you too, Donna. Speak soon. Blessings.